Is Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works worth watching? Does this adaptation of the original Fate visual novel hold up? Is it a good place to start watching the obscenely complicated Fate franchise? And is it even a good show by itself? We're going to answer all of those questions starting right now. To start out, Fate Stay Night by itself is a good show. It's got some great moments, the world is super interesting, and the fights look incredible. But I wouldn't say it's a great show. There's a lot I don't love about it. Fate Stay Night is based on a visual novel, and you feel it from the pacing. It is incredibly slow as it sets up everything to explode in the second half. And I cannot emphasize how slow it starts and how good it gets. At around episode 11 and 12, I felt like I didn't even like this show. Just a few episodes later, I completely understood why this spawned such a huge franchise. I watched Fate Zero first, so compared to that, this felt like the kids' version of the story. It focuses heavily on the relationship between Shiro and Rin while they're in high school. The high school aspect is easily my least favorite part of this show. Being the main location for the beginning of this Holy Grail War makes it feel small and really lame, and all the most interesting characters aren't involved much with the school. The first and second halves of Fate Stay Night feel like completely different stories. The second half actually feels like a war and has some really interesting strategies and high-stakes fights, while the first half is more of a drama that builds up the characters and explains the magic system. There is one particularly great reveal in the second half that I didn't see coming at all, but was set up really well. Unfortunately, there was also a smaller twist in the ending that came out of nowhere and kind of sucked. Overall, the second half is great, while the first half is slow and often boring, so it averages out to be decent. The characters are mostly fine. If you really like Rin and Shiro, especially if you like watching how their relationship develops, you will enjoy this show a lot from beginning to end. Unfortunately, I did not. Rin is a decent character except for being a super stereotypical tsundere, while Shiro has one super simplistic idea about what he wants to be, and there is really nothing to him beyond that. From the beginning to end, he has one conflict around his ideology that is repeated over and over again and never truly develops. It gets really tiring by the end. The power system and world building are some of the best parts of Fate. How the Holy Grail works is really interesting, but just the magic system is really great on its own. I do wish it spent more time exploring the magical families and building the world, but you can get more of that from Fate Zero. Lastly, the fights are super cool, with noticeably great choreography. They are the perfect blend of over-the-top abilities and grounded, fast-paced action. With that, the violence can be brutal, and there isn't much in terms of in-your-face fan service, but there is a slight hint of sexual violence in like 2 scenes. As a show by itself, I can't fully recommend it. It's good overall and does have some incredible moments, but it's a slog to get through unless you really like the characters of Shiro and Rin. However, as a part of the larger Fate franchise, it is more worthwhile to watch. Although Fate Zero does literally everything better, except maybe the action, Fate Stay Night fills in some gaps and concludes some character arcs, which does make Fate Zero's ending a lot better. If you're looking to experience the Fate franchise, Fate Zero and Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works are usually argued as the best places to start. I don't have the definitive answer to which one is better to start with, as they both spoil reveals in each other, but here are some pros and cons. Fate Zero is a prequel made after Fate Stay Night, so if you want to watch it in chronological order, start with Fate Zero. If you want to watch it in release order, start with Fate Stay Night. Zero's ending doesn't make a lot of sense without the explanation in Stay Night. It's the only part of Zero that doesn't feel completely standalone. While some of Stay Night's mysteries are spoiled through watching Zero first, they aren't massively important. The best reveals aren't spoiled. Also, having watched Zero first, you understand the reason for a lot of the small details shown throughout Stay Night. Overall, I think Stay Night spoils a lot more of Zero than Zero does to Stay Night. But the best reason not to watch it first is that Fate Zero is significantly better than Fate Stay Night, so watching the decent show before experiencing the masterpiece might be more enjoyable. Overall, Fate Stay Night is an ambitious story that doesn't land everything fantastically. It's an A-tier show, but it's a 6. If you're watching it, you get like 8 episodes in and get bored, it's worth pushing through to get to the really good parts. But if you're just looking for the best Fate anime, then check out this review of Fate Zero here on the end screen, or watch my previous review on Zenshu for something completely different. That's all for me, Jamio.